This is a demo of the Future Sound System Spectral Devastator FIL2. It's a filter Eurorack module. It's got both high pass and low pass sections. There's a more detailed kind of overview video on YouTube if you look through my other videos. This is just really to go into the kind of operation side of it, and to give you an idea of the kind of sound palette that you can very easily achieve from it. It sounds very aggressive a lot of the time, but you can also get quite smooth, you know, nice juicy filtered sounds out of it. So at the moment I've just got a sawtooth wave coming from the audio frequency generator by Livewire. That's going straight into the low pass input here on the Spectral Devastator, and the output's just going to a little Dopefer mixer and then straight into my sound card. So at the moment everything's at naught, so it's not letting any of the harmonic content through. If I just open the filter, you'll hear that you get quite a nice low pass sweep out of it. Notice this kind of strange sound at the beginning. That's just where the waveform, I mean, it's coming in directly, and this is quite hot, and this can really easily be overdriven, and that's just kind of happening there. So yeah, I mean, I do suggest you get a an attenuator just before the input, so you've got control over how much you drive both of these filters. But they do actually sound very nice, in my opinion at least, unattenuated. So if we start bringing up the resonance, this is where it really starts to get interesting. So really got that very squealy kind of resonance at the top there. And if we bring the resonance up a bit more, start to get that growl at the bottom end. Max out the resonance. So yeah, it's quite a different filter sound to you know, a lot of the standards out there. This, by the way, may I reiterate, it's not a clone of anything out there. This is a unique, as far as I'm aware, design. I designed it myself. Any copies or anything like that out there, it's just sheer coincidence. So I have been told that the methods that I've implemented in this module though are actually also present in the Commodore 64 SID chip, which is quite interesting. But yeah, so that's the low pass section. Also, just to show you the CV normaling here, the high pass cutoff value from this dial is actually normal to the low pass CV2 via this attenuator here. So what you can do is bring the CV2 up and then control the low pass filter with the high pass cutoff. This is useful for normaling reasons, as we'll see later. The normaling switches, by the way, are just here. So on this side you've got pre, for the low pass section at least, you've got pre high pass and then post high pass. You've also got two CV inputs. CV1 is unattenuated. CV2 goes via this attenuator but also has a gain stage of 2, so you can actually max out the CV a little bit more, which is quite nice. So let's show you the high pass section. If I just take my input there, stick it back in there, fade it up on the mixer. So that's with cutoff of 0, everything's set to 0. If I bring the cutoff up, you can hear it's got a fairly standard high pass action. Start bringing the resonance up. You hear that bit more of a growl. Down there, start to bring it up and you start getting very strange effects. there it's in pretty much self-oscillation. And both of these filters actually self-oscillate with either a kind of narrow pulse or a sawtooth, depending on where the cutoff's set. CV2 of the high pass is not normal to anything. This is totally blank. So if I show you, if I just bring that up, nothing happens, apart from the low pass is also being fed into the mixer there. If I get rid of that, yeah, nothing's going on there. So that's the high pass section. So where this filter really gets interesting is when you start using the normaling, especially post the filters. So if I just fade the high pass out and bring the low pass back in, this is therefore the livewire AFG through the high pass section, then into the low pass section, and the output from the low pass section. So that all sounds fairly normal, if not a little overdriven. Now if I start cranking resonance, so you get that very kind of interesting, aggressive, really growly sound there, with kind of both the filters just edging into self-oscillation. If I take the input out of the filter, I'll fade both the outputs up on the mixer. You can use these as strange kind of chaotic oscillators. There you go. So yeah, that's quite an interesting function. That was with them both normaled post. This is pre, so they're both independent now. By the way, another thing to reiterate, the CV does not track to any standard. It's not 1 volt per octave or hertz per octave, hertz per volt. Sorry, it's totally non-linear, and doesn't really follow any of the standards. Having said that, you can still feed a sequencer into it and just kind of tune it by ear, which is what I do pretty much all the time. And yeah, let me show you some of the CV. If I just send an LFO into it, let's take this dope for one up here, and let's put the AFG back into the low pass input. In fact, let's take the square output, feed it into the high pass, take the low pass out, put it post high pass. So this is with pretty much audio rate modulation. So it's just a triangle wave there, modulating the cutoff. So if I bring the resonance up, so that sounds quite nice. Let's try modulating the high pass cutoff as well. Take a different LFO. So the only actual input here is just this square wave. So yeah, you can do some very, very interesting things with CV. If I set both of these oscillators to audio rate, you can get some very strange results. If I so the frequencies of each oscillator are now related. I just love that sound, I think that's great. So let's just add in the high pass output in the mixer here. If I just take everything back into LFO. Yeah, it's quite a versatile module. I haven't really heard anything out there that sounds quite like it. I'm quite a fan of the sound myself. This is why I put it into production. But as I've said in the other video, I'm very pleased with how it's turned out, and I'm very excited to finally see it out there. At the moment, I'm well. There's 10 of these units about to ship out to Analog Haven, as well as actually the convulsion generator. So all of you in the States, keep an eye out for that. We'll be back in stock of these hopefully fairly soon, hopefully within the next month or so. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, really, because it's taken a while to get everything finished, but I'm just pleased with how it sounds. So yeah, thank you for watching this brief video demonstration of the Future Sound System Spectral Devastator. It's a Eurorack filter module with a high pass section and a low pass section. A totally new filter design for Eurorack. It's not a clone of anything at all. And with all the normaling options you've got, you can create quite some complex kind of filtering setups with this module alone. So thank you very much for watching.